The Police Officers Association says there were 200 cars and an estimated 500 people gathered for the dangerous and illegal stunt show.
America, we need to talk about what's happening in Oakland, California, because this story perfectly exposes how Democrat politicians lie about crime statistics while their city literally burns. Last weekend, 500 people took over the streets for a massive sideshow that lasted nearly an hour, set cars on fire and terrorized residents, while only 16 police cars were available to respond. But here's the kicker. Mayor Barbara Lee is claiming that violent crime in Oakland dropped 29% the first half of 2025. So let me get this straight. The crime is supposedly down 29%, but you have 500 criminals taking over intersections while police stand around and watch because they're too understaffed to do anything about it.
Chaos on the streets of Oakland, fireworks, cars doing donuts, people jumping on a car, breaking windows, and later setting it on fire. This was the scene at 41st and Howe early Sunday morning.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. This is exactly what happens when you have weak leadership that prioritizes statistics over safety, and it shows you why residents are fleeing California cities at record numbers. Let me break down what actually happened in Oakland because the details are absolutely wild. At 41st, around 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, approximately 500 people and 200 cars took over the intersection for a massive sideshow that lasted nearly an hour.
The Police Officers Association says there were 200 cars and an estimated 500 people gathered for the dangerous and illegal stunt show, but only 16 patrol cars available to respond.
These weren't just people doing donuts. They were jumping on cars, breaking windows, setting off illegal fireworks, and firing guns into the air. Residents said their condo buildings were shaking from explosions. One neighbor described seeing young people setting bottles on fire and throwing them in the air.
Neighbors tell me their condo building shook from the explosions. They tell me they cannot erase the images of young people stomping on vehicles and setting one on fire. A total disregard for property and safety.
The climax came when the crowd jumped on an Infiniti, likely stolen, that had been broken down from spinning off in the street, and then set it on fire in the middle of the street. They literally torched a car while recording it on social media, knowing that there would be absolutely no consequences.
You thought your life was in danger?
Yeah. Start doing shop fires in the air.
Neighbors say they saw young people setting bottles on fire and throwing them in the air.
Residents are terrified. One woman said, "I was scared. I was prepping to think I am going to run. But if I run, where am I going to run in the midst of all this crap happening?" Another resident asked, "Are the wires going to catch on fire? Is the building going to catch on fire?" Now here's the part that's going to blow your mind. The Oakland Police Officers Association says there were only 16 patrol cars available to respond to 500 people committing crimes. 16 cars for 500 criminals. That is a 31-to-1 ratio, and the police union says they don't have enough resources to handle an event at this type of magnitude.
We don't have the resources to handle an event that's that magnitude.
Wee Win, president of the Oakland Police Officers Association, says the department's pursuit policy also makes it challenging for officers to respond to such a large sideshow.
But it gets worse in California. The police pursuit policy makes it nearly impossible for officers to actually do anything. Most of these sideshow cars are stolen, but officers can't pursue stolen vehicles even at 2 a.m. when there's very light traffic. So these criminals know that they can use stolen cars with complete impunity.
For example, people often use stolen vehicle to participate in sideshow. That's why you see some of these vehicles are set on fire because those are stolen vehicles that they use. But for one thing is we cannot pursue any of those stolen vehicles.
The end result, police wrote 21 citations and towed 4 vehicles. 21 citations for 500 people committing crimes for nearly an hour. That is 4.2% citation rate. Imagine if only 4% of speeders got tickets, everybody would be doing 100 miles an hour on the freeway. Residents said police didn't take action until people started setting fires. One neighbor tried to put out a car fire with the fire extinguisher, but was told to back off off for his own safety. So citizens are trying to protect their own neighborhoods while police stand around and just watch. Here's the real story behind Oakland's crime problem. The Oakland Police Department has only 515 officers actively working on their streets, the lowest staff level in 25 years. But according to an independent study, Oakland should have 877 officers to meet minimum safety standards. That's a shortage of 362 officers.
Tim De La Vega is the treasurer of the Oakland Police Officers Association. He believes crime in the city is largely driven by a lack of policing resources. The union counts 649 sworn officers, with more than 100 on leave or modified assignments.
Tim from the police union explains what's really happening here.
We're losing 5 to 6 officers a month. And when we talk to the officers that are exiting, it's not that they're leaving police work altogether. 60% of them are leaving to go to other agencies.
So Oakland cops aren't leaving police work. They're fleeing Oakland for departments that actually support them and let them do their jobs. Meanwhile, Mayor Barbara Lee promised during her campaign to increase the Oakland Police Department staffing to 700 officers, but she's nowhere even close to that goal at the moment. The city's approach, they're funding 5 police academies over the next 2 years to reach 678 officers. But at the current rate of losing 5 to 6 officers per month, they're losing 60 to 72 officers per year. So even if they graduate 100 new officers, they're still going to be backwards. Now let's talk about Mayor Barbara Lee's claim that violent crime is down by 29% the first half of 2025. According to official data, homicides are down 21%, aggravated assaults down 18%, rapes down 24%, and robberies down 41%. But here's what they're not telling you. These statistics are absolutely meaningless when police can't respond to crimes that are actually in progress. When you have 500 people committing crimes for an hour and only 21 citations are issued, those crimes aren't being recorded properly in the statistics.
During her campaign, Mayor Lee promised to increase OPD staffing. In a statement sent to ABC 7 News, her office saying, the city's approach combines funding 5 police academies over the next 2 years to reach 678 officers on our way to the 700 sworn officer goal.
The U.S. News and the World Report just ranked Oakland as the second most dangerous place in America using 2024 FBI crime data. So either the FBI data is wrong or Oakland's 2025 statistics are being manipulated. I'll let you decide which one is more likely. Kat Brooks from the Anti-Police Terror Project accurately agrees that more police do not actually make us safe. She says,
the data actually says that more police do not actually make us more safe. That actually more resources make us more safe.
Brooks says as a part of Oakland's latest budget, OPD got a sizable increase while other departments face cuts.
But if you have all these agencies that are supposedly making Oakland safer, why do residents feel like prisoners in their own homes during these sideshows? One of the most heartbreaking parts of this story is listening to Oakland residents who feel completely abandoned by their government. Maybe it's time to move. Kathy Mill, who has lived in the area for more than 30 years, said the sideshows are getting out of control. It's terrifying, she says. It's a residential neighborhood, and the video I saw of cars zooming around and idiots running around in front of them gets part of a game.
Kathy Mill has lived here more than 30 years and says sideshows in Oakland are now getting out of control.
It's terrifying. It's a residential neighborhood. The video I saw, the cars were zooming around and these idiots were running in front of them.
One resident said, I was thinking, is this going to happen again? So anytime I hear screeching tires, you know that it's happening again. These people are living in fear in their own neighborhood while their mayor claims that crime is down 29%. Residents are asking city leaders to install concrete barriers and speed bumps to prevent these sideshows. Think about this. They're asking for physical barriers because they know the police can't protect them. They've given up on law enforcement and are asking for medieval fortifications. The crowd didn't disperse until fire crews arrived on the scene. Not police, fire crews. This tells you everything you need to know about who actually has authority in Oakland. America, this story perfectly illustrates the complete failure of Democrat governance in California cities. You have a mayor claiming that crime is down 29%, while 500 criminals take over an intersection, set cars on fire, and terrorize residents for nearly an hour. You have a police department that's lost 362 officers below minimum staffing levels, with a pursuit policy that makes it impossible to chase stolen vehicles even if they're being used to commit crimes. You have residents living in fear, asking for concrete barricades because they know the police can't protect them. This is what happens when you prioritize woke ideology over public safety, when you defund the police, restrict their ability to pursue criminals, and then lie about crime statistics to make yourself look good while your city burns. Oakland Oakland, 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 you deserve better than this. You deserve leaders who will hire enough police officers, let them do their job, and actually prosecute criminals instead of making excuses for them. The fact that 68% of Oakland cops are leaving for other agencies tells you everything you need to know. These aren't bad cops. They're good cops fleeing a bad system that won't let them protect the community. Let me know what you guys think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.